Welcome back to another episode of the Ganas Network podcast. This episode is brought to you by ganasnetwork.com. That's ganasnetwork.com. And we'd also like to thank our sponsor, MetroFundFinancial.com. Metro Fund Financial specializes in helping restore people's credit. Maybe you had a bankruptcy, maybe you've had a car repossessed, and you're having a hard time getting another car or buying a home. Make sure you visit MetroFundFinancial.com to get more information on how they can help you restore your credit. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. This gentleman is from Southern California, and he shared his story of how he was able to become an architect and work for one of the most prestigious firms in Orange County, building these multi-million-dollar homes. Hear his really cool story. Welcome and enjoy the show.
Échale, compa tigre, dale viejo. Por pensar que tú volverás conmigo.
Ganas.
There we go. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ganas Network podcast. Homero Guerrero here. We got Pablo Perez.
What's going on, everybody?
And we have a very special guest. I'm excited. When we launched this podcast last summer, 2015, Pablo and I said, we kind of realized we have a lot of really cool, successful friends, in our circle of people, whether it's musicians, whether it's people that are educators, business owners, maybe someone that likes to write books, architects, engineers, and we've been sitting week by week. By the way, this is released every single Monday. There's a new episode. We haven't repeated any guest, which is cool.
Except ourselves.
So sorry if we annoy you, and especially me, if my voice irritates you. I'm sorry, but it's worth it because of all the cool stories that we get to hear through this journey. But today we have a special guest, this gentleman. I met him about a year or so ago through some mutual friends. Very, very impressed when I met him. I was always like, man, this guy's like super duper humble, but very successful. That's, to me, there's nothing more beautiful in life than when someone has success, but it also has a good head on their shoulders and doesn't think that their shit doesn't stink. So I'm glad that we were able to schedule this here so you guys could hear his story. He comes from humble beginnings and yet he's accomplished great things, and I think this guy's going to do very, very big things in the future. So welcome to the podcast, Louie Torres, right?
Yes, sir. How's it going, everybody?
Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
We're excited to hear your story, man.
Yeah, it's going to be dope. And you're the very first person, I think, in this career field that we've had on the show.
Yeah. Architect.
Yes,
man.
Sir. So welcome. Sometimes people think maybe the architects are these like nerdy guys that are just drawing. But I think it's something very artistic. You got to have this imagination, right? And
yeah, definitely. It's something different. Everybody pictures this guy in a desk.
And a pencil.
In a cubicle, just, 24/7. But it's way different than that. I mean, there's a lot to it.
That's cool, man. So I guess take us back to take us back to first grade. How were you doing with blocks and shapes? No, but what was because I think typically by the time someone gets to high school, people are starting to think, man, what do I want to do in life? Do I want to be a police officer? Do I want to be a professional athlete? Or what's going on? When you were in high school, what was your mindset at? Like, let's say it's like your sophomore, junior year. What were you thinking about your future? What was it looking like at that time?
All right. During high school, I actually took a drafting class. And, you have electives. And the drafting class caught my attention the most. Why? Because I guess when I was in elementary, junior high, I used to draw a lot. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Like cartoons? What were you drawing?
Yeah, just, it was from stick figures to cartoons to drawing cars.
Really? Nice.
I had a passion for drawing cars. And this class, just, turned everything around. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, drawing a house. I never thought you'd have to draw a layout, floor plans, what they call it, and elevations. I'm like, what is all this,
Yeah.
So it just clicked in my mind, or it got stuck. Like, this is something I might want to do. I don't know, but it was just high school, and then
right. So you were before I cut you off. It was like AutoCAD type programs. So I had drafting in my school, and we used AutoCAD, and I forgot the other program where you're just, I guess, with not really manually drawing. It's with a computer, right? Or what were you guys using?
Yeah, well, in high school they taught us by hand. It was all by hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They wanted us to learn
old school. That's
the old school. Yeah. So they would have us. They had a drafting table for each person, and they wanted you to get a feel of what it was back then, so they could introduce you to the CAD computers nowadays.
Right. What high school did you go to? What area did you grow up in?
I went to Saddleback High School.
Roadrunners.
Roadrunners, yep.
Beep, beep. Yeah. We used to play them like for baseball almost every year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Roadrunners. Very cool.
The Roadrunners. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, then in college, I still was undecided. I didn't know what I wanted to be. And this one class that I had, it was an English class with a program called Puente. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I've heard of Puente.
Yeah. Santa Ana College, really great program. They brought a guest panel of speakers, of professional speakers, to talk to us about their field and, you know, to get us interested or get us thinking of what we might want to do.
An English class?
An English class,
really?
Which is kind of weird, but
yeah, it is.
Mr. Donato, he gets down, you know. He's like, man, I'm going to get you guys a panel going, inspired. You guys need this.
That's
you know?
cool,
he was a rapper himself. He's a funny guy.
He thought outside the box. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. He always
English teachers don't think like that.
No, heck no. My English teachers at my school did not care, man.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to get you guys a panel going. You guys need some motivation in here. I'm like, perfect. You know, this is what I need. So in this panel, there was like a criminal justice person, a business, a real estate person, and this architect. I'm like, oh, shoot, here we go again, you know, more inspiring words or a presentation. So then he spoke, and out of all of them, obviously, he was the one that attracted me the most, got my attention in terms of what field to get into. And next thing you know, I got in contact with him, and I started interning where his firm was at, which is in Newport Beach.
How old were you at this time?
Let's see, I want to say coming out of high school, you're what, like 18, 19, first year, 20 years old.
So you were still at Santa Ana College when you were interning?
Yeah.
In Newport Beach at this architect firm?
I'm curious, what did this guy say that just like really like stuck? Like what stuck out? Like why was it like, you know?
Or did you see his sick car? You're like, yeah, I want that car.
No.
Or did he come in a like sick ass suit?
No, actually.
I mean, what was it?
Maybe some people are more visual than others.
Yeah.
They like to picture things. And other people, just by hearing somebody talk, they can just picture it. But this guy that came in, he brought his work. So he brought images that just intrigued everybody. They're like, oh, this is badass, you know? This is the houses you're designing. That's pretty cool. And he got our attention, and he motivated us, like, you guys get to go on the field and work with CEOs of whatever companies, the top companies. So I was like, dang, that's pretty cool, you know? It's interesting.
So that's why you were attracted to that.
Yeah.
I think I would have probably been attracted to it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I wanted to check it out.
So you got his contact information like right after that class?
Yep, right after.
Really? How soon after from there did you pull the trigger and call this guy?
It wasn't that long. It was pretty quick, but by the time they hired me as an intern, it was a summer. So during the summer, they had me come in and help them out.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, so it was like about 2 months.
And I'm assuming it's like an unpaid internship, right?
It was actually paid.
Oh, dude, even better, man. That's
even
really
better.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was
now
fun.
You're working in the summer, right, with these dudes?
Yeah.
And obviously, what were like? You come in as an intern.
What do they have you do?
What are you doing?
Oh yeah. Well, when I came in, I was clueless of, you know, what I was even walking into because I was still learning. Like,
Right.
what is this guy all about? What do they do? And they just had me draw. First of all, they taught me how to use the programs. Like, this is how you draw a line in this CAD program. And so it went on from there. Like, little by little, I started learning the programs. I started going out to the field with them, measuring houses, which was really cool. Taking pictures. You got to take pictures of existing houses, like before and after kind of thing. Yeah. And then I was introduced to this awesome program called Photoshop.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where you take a picture of yourself, you could lose 20 pounds in 5 minutes.
Probably do that.
Perfect. Where do I get this Photoshop?
Yeah, so then I started learning that and you know, kind of messing around with it. I kind of became like the graphics department in a way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
As an intern?
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
Yeah, because everybody was busy doing plans and meeting with clients, talking to clients. So they would give me all the graphics stuff, like, hey, we got to do this presentation, put it together, put a title block on there, our information, the address, and color this bad boy up, which was the elevation of a house. It was just black and white lines. I had to add all the materials and, you know, all the visuals that the client's going to be like, hey, I don't really like this. Can you change this? All right, now it looks good. Thank you. That looks awesome. And that was pretty much, you know, what I was doing.
Now, how soon into that internship did you realize this is it? Like, I want to do this. I need to get more, maybe go to school and learn more, get a degree or something. You know, how soon did that sink in?
Because of Alex is his name, the person that introduced me. Yeah. Okay,
cool.
Was he like your mentor?
Yeah, he still is. I mean, actually,
cool. Saludos, awesome. Alex. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. It was not too long after that. He got me interested. I started working a little bit at the firm, and then I found out that they didn't have architecture classes at Santa Ana College, so I had to go to OCC, and so I was going back and forth in both colleges, and one of my professors at OCC said, hey, you're pretty good at this, and why don't you apply? And I'm like, no, this is my first 3 classes, like, I can't. Just apply, see what happens. All right. So then I applied, and to my surprise, I got into Cal Poly Pomona.
So you applied
to a university. Yeah, that's where I applied to. And I got into not only the university, but I skipped the whole year, and I got into second year of the program.
Wow, that's amazing.
All thanks to just good letters of recommendation, people that were supporting me, and of course Alex.
Was this like a scholarship that was being offered, or like
no.
when they said like, hey, you should apply, like, what was the?
Oh no, sorry, just to apply to the university, just to get in.
Oh, so
to the program of architecture.
The thing with Cal Poly is that they're really well known for their architecture, landscape architects. That's where I have one guy that works for my landscaping company from that university. And my sister told me, she kind of like, she educated me on it, right? My sister is HR for Valley Crest, big like landscaping company, construction company. And she said, our best people come from Cal Poly. She's like, and we get people from all across the country. She's like, the best, most dependable people in drafting, because they have a whole drafting division, Cal Poly. So she's like, go recruit there. She goes, those are the best people. And I was like, oh, man, they're going to be expensive, you know? So you got accepted at Cal Poly in their architecture program.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's crazy. Second year.
So does
that instantly give like a year off of your learning curve? Like you're already advanced a little bit more? You're learning more advanced stuff?
Well, no. It just means that you skip all their first year of the program, which is basic drawing. Yeah. And it was because I was taking classes at OCC.
You already knew most of that stuff.
Yeah, and I had to submit a portfolio, which was of work, anything, art, photography, whatever I wanted, for them to see my creativeness. Yeah. And I guess that helped.
Yeah, especially with the internship, man. You were able to show them all the stuff you done. Yeah. Killer.
And big old mansions. Yeah. I'm like, what?
All right, so now you're in a
that's
big university. Cal Poly is very well known. So
yeah, like
what was
Omero
that
said,
experience like?
like Omero said, it's one of the best because it's their motto is learn by doing.
Awesome.
They're gonna push you to go out into a field and to start doing it while you're in school. Whether it's a project, a science project, engineering project, maybe a car that they're gonna make out of solar panels or whatever. In the architecture department, same thing. You know, we had to learn by doing.
Most universities
It was tough.
don't do that.
Yeah,
It was very tough.
Yeah,
bookworms
man.
and-
When I contacted the director for landscape architect, he said, "Yeah." He said, "Thank you, for inquiring." And within minutes, man, I got like half a dozen applicants because he forwarded it immediately to all the students.
Oh,
Says
okay.
because
Yeah.
we were looking for interns, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, that was a good indicator for me. Like, man, these guys are like legit.
Yeah.
And these students, they were juniors. They weren't even like seniors yet, and they had great work, man. They're from China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the kids, the three of the guys that applied were from China. Very little English, and I was like, holy shit, man.
How am I gonna communicate with these guys?
Well, yeah. How are these? Why are these kids coming from China to Cal Poly? The program must be good. It's credible,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
continue, man. Sorry, I
very
just
good.
wanted to. My experience with Cal Poly has been really good, so it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So what was college like?
College. So I get into Cal Poly Pomona, and it was an eye opener. It was a total different world for me.
Like how so?
Okay, well, coming from a familia, a Mexican family, they're immigrants, and from having nothing, I'm the first one to go to college.
Right.
It was just like, wow, this is amazing. There's all these students. We're all in, like, same age range,
Right.
and I couldn't believe it. It was like very surprising.
Very diverse too, right?
Yeah, because I was more Santana and
Right.
the hood, and
Right.
and it's different coming out from your city into this university, and just learning about, like, wow, there's so many opportunities out there,
In different cultures, huh?
cultures, and you start meeting.
Because you think in Santana, I can get by just speaking English and Spanglish,
Yeah, just Spanglish. Yeah,
And then,
So it's so different.
tacos and burritos everywhere, burgers.
that's all I knew.
But then you go there and it's like you meet people from like all over, right?
Yes, absolutely.
eye-opening,
All over the place, all over the world. So I'm in Cal Poly now, and I'm loving the experience. I'm driving back and forth my little CRX.
CRX, nice.
Breaking down once in a while. Oh, I have a funny story about that actually. It was I was having a lot of trouble with my little car, but I didn't want to buy another one because that thing would save so much gas.
Right.
And this one time, I was going to school, and my honk,
Your horn?
the horn, I'm sorry. The horn got stuck. Me getting off the off-ramp, and this thing's like, beep, and all the people are looking at me like, what in the world?
Did this guy just steal the car?
Yeah. So I roll down my window, I'm like pointing to the horn. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, So I yanked the top of
Yeah, because it has a little thing, the
the
center
cover
thing.
Yeah, yank it off and unplug it somehow, like desperately. Try not to crash because it's already green light and this thing is still going on.
And you're headed to school?
Yeah.
Ahí viene el mexicanito with the CRX with the
Yeah.
horn blasting. Oh, man.
If it's not the music, it's the horn.
Right?
That's funny, bro.
Yeah. So
That's
it was
funny.
It was quite an experience driving that little car back and forth, but it was
But
fun.
now looking back, isn't it such a humbling experience?
Oh man, it was cool.
Yeah. Now you got this beautiful Infinity car. I'm like, oh man.
I still got the CRX.
That's when I met you, bro. I
I still
remember,
got the ZRX. There.
that's when I remember when I met you. I think you gave me a ride. We went to the studio in LA, and
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, your car is sick. I've always wanted this G35, and I was like, what do you do? That's when you're like, oh, I'm an architect. It's like, oh snap. Anyway, continue, man. You're at Cal Poly.
Cal Poly. So as we move on with classes and first year, second year, you're kind of just putting your feet in the water type of thing.
Right.
Third year of the program is actually one of the hardest years, and that's when teachers want to cut off all the kids, all the students that are not going to make it. Like,
Wow.
Like literally, it's so hard that students would have their parents and family members helping them on their projects overnight. We would spend like 2 nights straight, no sleeping. You start hallucinating, seeing rats in the studio. Like, what the heck was that? We had a little BB gun. Oh, so yeah. I mean, third year was a killer for sure, and that's when you do this what they call 1 inch equals a foot model, and it's a house, basically a concept house. In theory, that it's for a designer or a filmmaker slash he's on vacation, blah blah blah, and they give you this site, so you have to design this amazing house or whatever kind of house
to scale.
To 1 inch means that's a foot. So if it's 10 feet, 20 feet, that's 20 inches. So you had to put real materials on there as if it was a real house. So there was concrete on there.
I always remember that Zoolander part where he says, "What is this? A center for ants?" You know when they want to build a school for children.
He went to an architecture agency,
really?
and there was like a demo of the school.
And then he says, "What is this? A center for ants?" And he pushes
for ants. Jeez.
Anyways, continue. Bro.
Yeah, so that was one of the years that really impacted all of us in that program, architecture. And we would be working all night, and it was tough because not only do you have to have a good presentation or project to begin with, you got to have a good presentation graphics wise, and that's where the Photoshop really helped me a lot, learning Photoshop. And excuse me, and your model had to represent what was on board, so it had to look clean, you know, and you ain't just gonna make something half-assed, and
of course
they're gonna tear you apart. And they did tear a lot of people apart. Like, what está haciendo? Like, what is this? This is junk. This is trash.
It doesn't look like it's on there.
So literally, you would see girls crying in their presentations, guys getting torn apart. Like, you ain't gonna make it. Like, straight out. Wow. You ain't gonna make it.
And who are these people? They're the teachers, or was it?
Yeah,
like
it's the teachers. No, it's not only teachers. When we would present, it would be teachers, like a panel of 5 different teachers, and then 5 different guests that they would bring from firms, from other schools.
Wow.
You're talking about like USC, some other guy. He's like, "You guys are doing this?" What? He would talk shit, you know?
Wow.
And then behind them, 20 students, 30 students, whoever's there standing, you know, crossing their hands, just listening to your project. And so yeah, I mean, that experience was way different. I mean, I wasn't as ready coming from Santa Ana and not knowing anything, and then shoot, I gotta buckle up and get ready for this, you know? I gotta concentrate. I gotta do it.
Because that's a whole other animal. It's like you have to, and public speaking is not for everybody.
I'm still not that great.
What was that experience like when they came to judge your piece?
Okay, when it wasn't that great to begin with.
Well, I mean,
but I did have a lot of imagination and creativity that I would study my project so much that I would go online and get example after example after example and just borrow, as they say, borrow ideas from here, and there, and put it all together and just make your project a great one.
Did you build a home, or was it commercial property? What did you build? What was your demo? Yeah, that project.
That's a home.
You did a home, okay.
It was a small home, like 700 square feet.
What kind of feedback did you get for that?
You know, they really liked it.
Really?
Oh, and I gotta share this story of that project. That night that we presented, it was raining. I couldn't, for the life of me, get my prints printed, all my work printed at Kinko's, at Staples, at other places that they print. And I was just like dying. I was like frustrated. I was like, what am I going to do? If we don't present, we fail.
Right.
And me tocaba a tal hora, like, let's just say like 3 o'clock. Work got pushed back to 4, and then 5, and then 6. I ended up presenting like at 7:30. I just remember me and my little CRX like burn everywhere, like Fast and the Furious. And when I got off the off ramp, which is Kellogg Drive, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That ramp está sola, you know.
Yeah.
And I was driving in the carpool. Sorry to all the sheriffs that are listening right now, but
CHP.
I was just desperate. I wanted to succeed in my project, and I got off that off ramp like going 80, 90 miles an hour. I hit the brakes. I was literally sliding down the off ramp all the way down, like
Oh, because it was raining.
yeah. So I was like, man, thank God I didn't kill myself, but or anybody else. I didn't hurt anybody else.
Serious.
But gracias a Dios, I mean, everything came out good, and they loved the project. My professor actually was on my side the whole time because he really liked the dynamic of this this design, the shape of the house, and you could turn it in any way, and it'll look good, he would say. And yeah, I mean, I had I would say an outstanding career, as some of my colleagues would say. They're like, "Hey, Louie, you've had a good, outstanding career throughout your years in architecture." And I didn't realize until they would tell me. I'm like, "Oh, thanks," you know. So after that year, which is the hardest year, in my opinion, and
That's the third year, right?
yeah, third year. Which, by the way, that year I wasn't commuting. We got a house, and we rented a house, like 4 of us. And we're like, nah, screw this, because a lot of students were getting accidents, like crashing to the dormia in the middle of the night and hitting the center divider.
Yeah.
Anyways, so after that year, fourth year gave me the opportunity to learn about study abroad programs, which I was like, are you serious? You know, I'm going to go around the world or there's an opportunity to go around the world and study what you're studying at school, like architecture. I'm like, wow, that'll be something different. And I took advantage of the opportunity. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I don't care how much it costs. You know, I'll throw some financial aid or whatever, my savings. Mm-hmm. This is something that I'm never going to get to do later on in life, you know. Single.
Or at least you don't think you are, because you're.
Yeah, exactly. You're in the moment. You're in the moment. I'm like, oh,
it's now or never.
Yeah. I mean, because you're in school and you're with your buddies, you're like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to China in 2008 when the Summer Olympics were going on.
Yeah, Beijing, right?
Yeah, in Beijing when Michael Phelps won that the famous race.
Yeah.
I was actually there when he won.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's another experience that you got out of that, right? Just
yeah, exactly.
That's
like,
cool.
I never thought I was going to go to China and then go to the Olympics.
Witness history like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So in China, oh, man, what an experience. We're in China, you know, we got together a lot of, a group of Mexicanos. Mm-hmm. We're like, hey, you're down to go? Yeah, I'm down to go. Let's go. So there was
youngster from Santa Ana. Huh?
Youngster, I was the only one from Santa Ana, but most of them were from LA.
Yeah.
And our professor was actually Mexicana. Shout out to Irma Ramirez.
Oh, cool.
Cal Poly. And yeah, it was just a different experience, completely, obviously, out of this world that we live in. And now I'm going from Santa Ana to Cal Poly, being wowed, you know, Cal Poly. And now from Cal Poly to the other side of the world,
Jeez.
You're just like, are you serious? Like,
this
is
real?
Unreal, you know? Little cool. Chinitos. Shout out to all the chinitos out there, you know?
We know a few of those.
Yeah, so, I mean, we get out there, and first couple weeks of the program is you got to explore, you got to learn the culture, you got to, you know, just live it, you know? Go out there to the sites, to the projects around where we're going to do our main project, and, you know, eat a hot dog or something, you know, whatever they have. Well, in that case, it wasn't hot dogs, it was...
I was going to say.
Something else.
Something else on a stick.
So what was the experience like in China? Like, what kind of architecture did you guys study out there? What did you guys see?
Okay.
So how did you guys get, like, ideas? Or what was the whole goal of going out there?
Okay, so the program that they have set up is a beautiful, amazing program. It's a program that's 6 weeks long.
Okay.
And I believe it was. And they have it all set up to where they take you to different places. And we're on a big bus, one of those big
bus.
tours. Yeah. And they would take us everywhere, to every important park, monumental areas, and we would learn about their culture. And what I really loved about the program was that every stop, we were mandatory to draw a scene. Just stop, sit down, and draw for 30 minutes.
No way, really?
I don't care what it was, the teacher would say, but draw that, and that was one of the requirements, like,
wow.
at every spot. So we would have, like, all these drawings, and now that I look back into it, it's like I could go right back to that moment.
Because of the...
Yeah. Like, the Great Wall of China.
Oh.
You know, so many different things. And it got to a point in the program when we were like, all right, man, we're kind of getting tired of the food over here, you know?
Right.
Like,
I want some tacos.
We're missing our tacos and the burritos. And so I would call my parents and, ya mándenme por UPS o algo, mándenme algo, you know, something, because we're dying out here. Too much rice.
Yeah.
Too much of the same. And you know what's funny? Speaking of calling back home, one of my buddies, my compadre, his name's Louie Torres, same name as me. He has a middle name, Alonso. He had this brilliant idea of calling Piolín por la mañana from China.
Ah.
And shout out to Piolín. He's also a roadrunner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. He did, and he went to Santa Ana College too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know that.
I'm friends with his producer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're like, hey, we should call Piolín, you know? We're working long hours out there, but we're used to the LA time. And when people were sleeping in China, we were still awake, you know, working on a project.
Right.
So we're like, yeah, let's call him. A ver qué, maybe we'll get in.
Shout out Mexicanos from China.
Yeah, so we call, you know, the station. And, hey, yeah, they pick up. What, you guys are in China? Yeah, we're out here studying Mexicanos acá en un programa de China. Órale, no me cuelgues. Ahorita vamos a hacer algo bueno. All right, cool. We thought, you know, little did we know they were setting us up for a broma.
Oh.
We're like, all right, cool, we're just going to do some shout-outs.
Uh-huh.
Órale, carnal, ¿cómo estás? Oh, no, qué gusto. ¿Ustedes están allá en China? No, hombre. Qué bueno, los mexicanos. Hasta en China andamos. And then, you know, and then, out of nowhere, they're like, all right, vamos a hacer una broma. ¿Están de acuerdo? And we're like, sure, yeah. Okay, le vamos a llamar, and they were talking to my buddy, a tu esposa, y le vamos a decir que ustedes están allá en China y que los agarró la policía porque andaban con unas muchachas, ustedes, y no tenían que andar, pero ustedes andaban y los agarraron a todos porque ellas tenían drogas. We're like, damn, really? You want to do this? He's like, no, es que no sé. He wasn't too sure about it.
Right.
He's like, ándale, anímate, carnalito. Vamos a dar unos tickets para la Recodo, Punto Primavera.
Yeah.
We're like,
okay.
Come on, bro, let's do it. So then he's like, all right, that shouldn't be too bad.
She'll forgive me.
Man, yeah. It got intense. Like,
really?
She answers the phone, right? And then she's like, hola, Luis. Like, you know, his name's Luis. And Esmeralda, su nombre, he's like, te tengo una mala noticia. No, ¿qué pasó? You know? And I don't know where he's like, estamos en la cárcel. Why? You know? She's like scared. Like already you could tell her voice was a little shaky.
Oh, snap.
Like, ¿qué pasó? Was ya ves, los muchachos andamos acá en la noche con unas muchachas y unas de ellas traían drogas y los agarró la policía, nos metieron todos al bote.
Yeah.
Y no nos quieren dejar salir hasta que comprobemos que somos de allá, estudiantes y con, you know, con validación. So she was like, are you serious? Like, she started like crying a little bit, but at the same time, ¿Cómo que andaban con muchachas? Like this and that, and then she just gets mad and hangs up the phone. Boom.
Oh, snap.
And he's like, oh, no, llámenle para atrás. Now it gets good. And Piolin's like cracking up. He's like, híjole, le colgó. Vamos a llamarlo otra vez a ver qué dice. And so then calls her back, and all of us are like, you know, in the background.
Are you feeling bad now?
Like, yeah, we're feeling bad. Like, oh shit, call her back. You know, we're doing our project at 3 a.m. out there, and all in suspense, looking at Luis like,
sorry, bro.
Yeah. So then we call her back, and she answers crying, like, ¿Cómo que andaban con muchachas? No puedo creer que this and that. And next thing you know, she hangs up again, but before she does, she's like, ojalá y se pudran en la cárcel.
Oh!
We're like, damn, bro.
I can imagine Piolín and everybody on the air listening like, whoa.
Yeah. So then, third time, calls back. Y ya, porque ya my friend's like, no, ya dile que ya es una broma, ya es too much, yeah. So then, they call back and they're like, okay, no, mija, es una broma, somos el show de Piolín por la mañana. ¿Sí sabes cuál es? She's like, sí. She's like, I can't believe you guys did this, you know?
Oh, man. Do you guys have a recording of this?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
You gotta share it with us next time.
Yeah, we were like laughing and then in suspense, and then at the end it was all just, you know, just laughs and joy.
So she got mad twice. First because she thought you guys were with some girls.
So what's funny is that we got tickets to go to this concert, and people at the concert, they're like, oh, we're in line to, you know, to get in. Oh, so how'd you guys get the tickets? We won them. We called from China. Oh, that was you guys. Yeah, that's
cool. So
people actually listen to that.
That's funny.
But anyways, that was one of the China experiences, and going back to Cal Poly and the study abroad experience in China was just amazing, like mind blowing, and just seeing a different culture, learning how these people live out there is very humbling, and you know, it's just an eye opener. Like
we take for granted how
we take so many things for granted. How people out there, they're very nice people. They're very nice people, and obviously they have different things that they're used to.
Yeah.
Like us, we're, you know,
right.
We have our things, tortillas and frijoles, and out there it's
rice and noodles, huh?
Rice, yep, just rice and noodles. Another funny thing is that I didn't know how to use the chopsticks.
The chopstick?
I didn't for a whole week. Perdí como 5 libras. Like, they wouldn't give us forks. I'm like, are you serious? All right, this is one of my challenges, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So here I am with the chopsticks trying to eat rice. Like, se me caía todo. And, all right, guys, time to go. Wait, hold on. I'm not even halfway.
I haven't even started, bro.
No. We got to go on schedule. We got to go. Let's go. All right.
Wow. So, how long? You guys were out there for 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
You come back. And then when you come back, what?
All right. So, when we come back, you know, continue with the Cal Poly life. And the following year, I liked going to China so much that I found out of a different program. I was like, oh, man, I can't say no, you know, and I'm on a roll. I got to learn the world now versus, you know, in the future it might not happen.
Right.
So I enrolled for another program, which was Europe, and
nice.
The focus was Greece.
Ooh, very nice.
Which was, oh man, if I compare it to China, I mean, ahí se dan.
Really?
They're very, very nice experiences, all thanks to the coordinators of the programs in Cal Poly. También, they had everything set up. So 2009 comes up, it's a summer again, summer program. I think this one was 4 weeks and a half. And we ended up staying a little longer just to explore on our own. But the itinerary was arriving in France for a week. They literally said, all right, we're going to see you guys there. Sale, ahí nos vemos. And then we had to show up to this place and meet up. Como llegaras en tu burro, in a taxi, whatever, you know?
So it was your job to get there?
Yeah. It was, yeah. The teachers were like, we'll see you there at this time. And
you guys are adults, figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem
so
solve.
That's one of the experiences. They want you to, when you go out there, learn by doing. They want you to learn how to survive on your own también. I mean, do things on your own. Man. Learn how to use the metro, the underground metro, which in China was ridiculous. Like, you would see a person, there's so many, like millions of people. You see that person, you never see them again in your life.
So many people.
There's billions of people.
There's so many people. It's just crazy. But in Europe, so we spent a week in France studying all the architecture there, which was beautiful, you know. Paris, France is just amazing. And then we went to Germany for 3 days after that.
How was that?
That was cool.
Mexican in Germany.
I know, right? Like, what the heck am I doing here? All los Mexicanos, the Mexicanos that went were like, oh, this is badass. So just learning about different cultures, like we would write down different words that we would pick up, excuse me, and that would sound funny to us, you know, like right. in China, coming back to China, we learned like 1, 2, 3, hi, or how are you, or thank you, things like that, and that were just okay. These are the usual words that they use, and I forgot some other ones. I don't want to say the bad words. So same thing in Europe. In Germany, it was just a beautiful experience. Germany was very, very green. It's very green out there. I didn't know this, and the places that we stayed and we visited, it was just beautiful. Nice. After that, 3 days in Italy. It's kind of like we're going down the map a little bit. Yeah. And Italy was just wow.
Bomb, huh?
Yeah, we went to Venice. Oh my God, Venice is like a city surrounded by water, and all these little bridges that are nice, and all the houses there. I don't know if they have a requirement, but it's colorful. Like every single house is like a red one, a yellow one, a green one. So it's like colorful to the max, and there's painters everywhere. So I'm like, man, I gotta come back here because I like to paint myself.
Very artistic.
Yeah.
Country.
How was the food there? Just curious. The pizza good?
It was great. Yeah.
Really?
Pizza was great. The gelatos, the ice cream was just bomb. Nice. I want to go back. So
I want to go now.
Yeah, I'm motivating you to go.
for the food.
So after Italy, we finally hit up Greece. And funny story, because they're like, all right, well, you guys got to get from Italy to Greece however you guys want, airplane or boat, because we had to cut or pass through a long stretch of ocean. Right. And we're like, why are you going to pay $300 for a ticket in the airplane? Let's just take the ferry, the Titanic, we would call it. No. First class, second class, third class.
What?
Man, let's just do third class. We're on the deck. Oh, man. To our luck, it rained. It was windy as heck. It was like 10 of us. Fun experience. To block the wind, we would put like little tables on the sides and make our own little house on the deck.
Really?
It was funny, yeah. So
how long was the ride?
22 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah, but it didn't start raining like till halfway.
Wow.
But still, we didn't get much sleep or rest. We were there like on the bench, those like shaking from the cold. But finally, we get to our destination, Greece, which I thought was going to be like, oh, Greece is the gods and beautiful, monumental statues everywhere. Completely opposite. We get there right away. The taxi drivers that are from the port, they're trying to hustle us, rip you off, and hey, we'll take you this ride. We'll give you this ride and for this much, blah blah blah. And we found out from one of the guys, like, hey, no, this is way too much. They're trying to rip us off. We'll just walk. It's 2 blocks away. It's cool. Thank you. Oh, man. the walk, during that walk was like a tour for us, obviously. We've never been there before. We start walking with our luggage. Like parecemos patitos, like all in line, walking all these streets. We see riots. We're like, what's going on?
What?
Greece is big for riots. They have this fight, government, police, and government against the students. The students are retaliating to a lot of things events that have happened in the past, or at least when we were there. There was like massive like riots. I'm talking about in the 4 weeks. Probably saw at least twice a week.
Serious?
Yeah, 2 a week. So it was very different. But anyways, going back to walking to our hotel again, it started raining. Because we were all pulling our luggage. My buddy, he's pulling his, and the wheel breaks off from his girlfriend's luggage. So he's like, great, now what? Next thing you know, the handle breaks off. He's like, no, pues ya que. So there we go. There we are going to our hotel and seeing all these riots. We're like, this is crazy. Todos empapados. And so same concept. We had to learn about the city, the culture, and eventually design our project in this one area. But the beautiful thing about Greece was their islands. They have there's like 4 or 5 islands. There's one that we went to called Santorini Island. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah.
But it's just a paradise. Like, wow, it's amazing. It's a volcanic made island. And there's like a red beach where the sand, everything's like reddish orange. And there's another side of the island where it's black pebbles. It's all black. It's like, imagine chia seeds.
Yeah.
A lot of those, that size, like just all over the place, black. Crazy. And so, yeah, it was an amazing experience. The sun was much bigger when it was sunset and sunrise. We're like, wow, this is just like in the pictures, this humongous sun. What's going on? Yeah. And it was just great. The architecture, the experience, us trying to learn different culture. So we get back to Cal Poly with all kinds of experiences and stories, trying to motivate the younger crowds. Like, hey, you guys should go and study.
Forget that. I'm curious, like, what was your experience like coming back, talking to your family?
My family.
Because I bet, like, they only know Santana, or...
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine, like, the stories you came back with, they were just
I came back...
No te creo.
Yeah. It puts you in perspective. Like, you think about how your family, like, I come from a Mexican family. I'm the oldest in my family from 4 siblings. Right. And the experiences that you go through, it's so different, So you think about your family, like, oh man, they're just so used to the frijoles, tortillas, and the Mexican life, and they never been outside, even of, the county that we live in, kind of perspective. So it's just very different. I mean, it's crazy.
How did your younger siblings take to, like, your stories?
Okay,
were you, like, pushing them, like, you can do this, like, you guys can?
Definitely. I mean, my sister, which is next in line, she went to UCI.
Okay.
And she graduated there with her bachelor's in what was it? Psychology. Sorry, in Chicano studies.
Oh, nice.
And then she transferred to USC.
Oh, wow.
She did her master's in educational counseling. So
you started a movement.
But you know what? She had it in her too. Like she's very self-motivated. Yeah. So like you said, I started a movement.
Is that was something that she's probably wanted to do, right? Or
yes,
you kind of tripped into it because you were going, you heard the story.
Yeah.
Like I like your story because you had taken CAD in high school, and then in community college you heard an architect, tell his story.
Mm-hmm.
You called him up. You end up being an intern. And then you say, hey, I got to go to school. They probably told you got to go to school. So you went to OCC.
Yeah.
And then there your professor's like, dude, you're really good. You should, like, apply to Cal Poly.
Yeah.
And that's how you ended up there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, but that's cool, man. I like that. That's a really cool and unique story. So you started a movement with your family. Your obviously, your sister went to UCI, got a master's.
Yeah, and one of my brothers now is in college, Santa Ana College.
There you go. Start somewhere, right?
Yep.
That's all you, man. That's good.
Yeah.
You lead by example. That's great.
Yeah, so Cal Poly was great.
That's good, man. So what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bachelor's?
Bachelor's. Okay. In architecture.
And all this time, you're still working as an intern or working with this firm?
Not when it was the hard year, third year, and when I was studying abroad, fourth year.
Okay.
Because I couldn't, I was out there.
Course.
But fifth year, I did come back to intern again for the summer. And I had a lot of time in my hands because of these study abroad programs. I took care of a lot of electives and design classes that I was going to take later down the road.
Right.
So my fifth year I was kind of like, what should I do now,
Right.
So I was working, and I actually came back to Santa Ana College to take some fire tech. They have an excellent fire technology program.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, it's already related to buildings, architecture and fire prevention, the code and all that stuff. So I want to learn a little bit of what they do.
Right.
So yeah, I took some classes in fire tech.
So you never stopped learning. You always wanted to.
Yeah, I never stopped.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you wanted to keep learning more, and that's really good. So you graduated in 2010?
2010.
How was that for you, being the first person in your family to walk?
Oh, that was
with
quite
a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
How did your parents feel? How did your family feel?
It was very, very rewarding. My mom was just crying. She made me cry, like, why are you crying? And yeah, it's just one of those things that you feel very, very proud of, that, you're the oldest in your family, and you're trying to set an example.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that que le gusta echar ganas. I mean, like your network here that you have, like echarle ganas.
Exactly, bro.
And there's no other option for me. I'm not the type of person that likes to sit at one spot for a long time.
Right.
I feel like I don't like to waste time. Not that you're wasting time if you're in one spot, but I'm the type of person that I like to try new things, and if I like something, I like to learn more about it and progress and become better at it.
Challenge. You like to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't like to be stuck in one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2010, you graduate, you go back to work with this firm.
Yeah, I asked them, hey guys, got my degree. Like, they saw me from the start, and I asked them if I could work there full time. And they said, yeah. They're like, yeah, we'd love to have you. We already know how you work.
Yeah.
Where's this firm at?
It's in Newport. It's actually by borderline Newport, Santa Ana, and Irvine. It's right next to John Wayne Airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So not necessarily or close to the beach,
right.
Newport, but it's
still
on this side, yeah.
So that's convenient for you. You live in Santa Ana, so it's not like a crazy drive.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
And it helps that you were able to prove your work ethic throughout your whole internship. And it's almost like the job's guaranteed at that point as long as they like you,
Yeah, exactly. They knew where I came from. And
your mentor, Alex, was the one that was like, yeah, heck yeah, come back.
yeah.
Right?
Hey, you should come work with us now.
Right.
Oh, of course, yeah. Thank you, Thank him for his mentoring and guidance.
Right.
It helped out a lot.
That's awesome. So you've been with the company now how long? We're in 2016.
Let's see. Well, full time it's been 6 years with this year, since 2010. But since I met them, it must have been since, let's see, I graduated high school 2003, and then my first year in college 2004. So since 2004,
That's amazing.
Wow.
So
you've seen them because the recession crashed, the market crashed in 2008.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know that affected that industry a lot because they stopped building as much, people stopped buying as much.
It's kind of funny because in their industry, they're focused more on the high end.
Oh, so they were fine.
They were fine. These people
true.
have money no matter what.
That's true.
They're clients that we work with that have they're well off, and they're gonna buy a property that's $2.5 million. So if they have $2.5 million, they have
what recession?
What recession? I'm gonna make my house during this year, and this year it's gonna be.
So is that your specialty? Like, you do house design or buildings or commercial? What's your specialty now?
Yeah, we that firm has always focused on custom residential living.
Right.
So custom homes in the beach, and we've done a lot of projects for a lot of people, a lot of firms, a lot of CEOs. Some to mention are like Fox Motorsports. His house is almost done, which I worked on.
Wow.
Hurley Clothing.
Yeah.
We just did theirs, and it's a beautiful house in Newport.
The CEO?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Applebee's, the owner of the Angels.
Wow.
Artie Moreno? Really?
He would
You
come
guys
in,
have done some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could go on and on. There's a guy that he's like a co-CEO with UFC from Vegas. His house was pretty amazing. I mean, you're talking about
the Zuffa guys, because it's like Zuffa is like I think.
I just know his last name.
Okay.
Fertitta.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
for Vegas, you guys did this client.
He's from Vegas, but his house is in Laguna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we get all sorts of clients that come in the door.
Very high-end clients.
Yeah, very high-end that get recommended by other high-end.
Right. Yeah,
so the recession, going back to that, it really didn't affect as much in our field. I mean, at least where I'm working. But I'm sure other architecture firms like commercial buildings or let's say high-rise. I'm not sure how that all works, but at least our side of the field, it didn't really affect us much.
Pretty steady.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, man? What are the plans? Do you have side projects? Do you do? What else do you do? What else do you focus on?
Okay, aside from architecture, I'm also a musician.
Yeah.
Wow. Homero.
Yeah, that's how we met.
That's how we met, actually.
Cool.
Yeah, as in the music world.
And how long you been playing music?
The big familia of the music world.
It's a small circle, man.
Actually.
I tripped out when we met because you happen to know some of my good friends that I've known for a long time. You guys were neighbors.
Yes.
Jose had this band with Jesse, who was your neighbor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've known Chico and Raul, so you know those guys for a long time?
Yeah, for a while.
That's
actually,
cool.
Yeah. Los Tornados del Norte.
That's right.
That was them. And it's a norteño band. And I would admire these guys. Like, I would want to go to their gigs so bad. Like, man, these guys are badass.
And they were kids at the time. They started when they were like
junior
13,
high.
14.
Uh-huh. So they would be playing like quinceañeras, weddings, any type of event. And I was the groupie at the time.
The roadie?
The roadie and the groupie.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what can I help you with?
Right.
Whatever. I want to go check it out. And the reason that this all got my attention into the whole music world is because I guess it's in my veins. My dad used to be a músico.
Okay.
Back in his day, in the hippie days.
Estilo Bookies or what?
Estilo Bookies, exactly. There's a band that him and his brothers used to have, que se llamaban Amor y Fuego.
Okay.
Wow.
And they had the big afro, the bell bottoms, I'm like, is that you, Dad? In the pictures? Yeah, that's me. I'm like, dang, rocking the fro and the little botitas with the bell bottoms.
Right.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, it's in the blood. My brothers play as well, and my sister played the violin all from kinder to high school. And so yeah, that's another thing I do on the side.
What do you do you have a band now? What's the name of the band?
Yeah. The band that we have now is called La Chavalada.
La
It's a
Chavalada.
grupo norteño, and we play in weddings, any occasion, quinceañeras. We just recorded a CD recently.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
And, thanks.
It's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah, it is actually, and it's fun. I do the music as a stress reliever. When I was in school, I would still do it. You know, there'd be times when, man, uno se quiere arrancar los pelos, like, oh man, I have so much work and stress, and I just want to go space out. Yeah. And what would I do? I would go play music. I would go play my guitar, play the drums. I started with the drums. Now I play the guitar, which is called the bajo sexto.
Yeah.
And I play and sing segunda voz. So I would keep entertained, and music to me has been, how should I put this? Like I said, it's in the blood, and it's a stress reliever. It's fun. It's just fun.
It's your passion, right?
It's my passion.
I can hear it in you.
Yeah. So my brothers picked it up because of me playing at different, with different groups, learning instrument after instrument, and influencing them to pick up an instrument.
Right.
So now my little brother plays the drums in this new band, La Chavalada. And Homero mentioned Jesse from Los Tornados del Norte, which was my neighbor back in the day. He's actually our accordion player now, and excellent accordion player. He's amazing. Yeah, this guy is professional. Even last night, I was at a friend's house. They had mariscos, and they're like, hey, come over. And they seen us play 2 weeks ago in Santa Ana. And they're like, hey, ¿cómo se llama ese guy, el de la barba? And he plays the accordion. Oh, Jesse. Man, that guy is professional.
Yeah,
toca bien limpio y bien bonito.
Yep.
Le echa mucho sabor. I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
And
¿Y nosotros? Hey, what about us?
Hey, what about me? No. Gracias, pero aren't you missing part of the conversation there? No, it was very humbling to know that people, admire our work, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback from a lot of people, from a lot of bands. Saludos ahí para compa Junior Salazar from Santa Ana, which he's releasing his one of his new albums coming out this Wednesday, March 9th. We're going to be there playing live with different...
cool. You're going to be there.
Yeah, different bands from all over that are getting well known, like La Atracción, Legado 7. And so, yeah, we're going to be there joining our buddy some live music. So, if you want to come over, Romero, let's do it.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like...
And Louie actually, he hasn't mentioned this, but he, not only does he have his band, but he's recorded for a ton of other artists and stuff. He's actually recorded Bajo Sexto for this super famous song that was on the radio a couple years ago with, I forget his name right now. I'm getting a blank.
Luis Coronel.
Luis Coronel. If you guys don't know, but he's this youngster, man, who has blown up. Last year was one of his biggest years. Non-stop radio play, and he recorded his hit single.
Yeah.
What was La Niña? What was it called?
Mi Niña Traviesa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big hit.
It's all thanks to a friend, Jesse El Pulpo. He introduced me to this opportunity. He's like, hey, there's this guy that he's from Arizona, and he wants to record the song, and they're coming to LA to do a few songs. Are you down? I'm like, yeah, sure. And on the way to the studio, Jesse's telling me, hey, this guy, he's got potential. Como que se iba a pegar el morro. And I'm like, really? Let me hear some of the videos. So he put some videos on the phone on our way to the studio, to Gomez Digital. Shout out to them.
Cool studio.
It's the very, very professional, good sound studio. So we get to the studio, and this kid, he's like 16, 17. Yeah. Very cool guy, outgoing. He's got jokes. So we start recording or listening to the song, Mi Niña Traviesa. And they're like, oh, it's a previous song. This one guy sang it with a banda, but he wants to do it norteño, más balada. All right, cool. And next thing you know, this song is on the radio. And I'm listening to myself on the radio for the first time on FM, on all the stations. I'm
Every freaking station all day long.
I'm like, dude, this is the greatest feeling ever. You know, wow. I called up Jesse. I'm like, I've never been on the radio. It's not me singing, but I'm playing the guitar. And wow, what an experience. It was something different, yeah.
That is
and
awesome.
That guy's now grown on to, he got a big record deal.
This he's going to be very big.
He's had more hits than just that, but that was just like the one that was like...
I got a feeling he's going to be like the next Marco Antonio Solis when he's that old, or I don't want to say old, but when he progresses in his career, he's going to reach a point where he's very well known because he has a lot of fans and a lot of people like his style. So that song was just outrageously played on the radio every single day. Like, I'm like, dude, this is amazing.
You know what? I mean, you're a very well-rounded guy. I can tell when, earlier you mentioned that you don't like to sit around and waste time. So you're very productive in the fact that you wake up, you go le echas ganas at your career, and then afterwards you're still practicing and playing with your band, and I mean you just stay busy, you stay productive, and that's good for people to know. Like, you can still pursue your passion even after you're done. Making a living.
Job.
After you're making a living, and it's pretty inspiring to hear that you're the oldest, that you're the first in your family to graduate college, university, and that you've led your family in that direction, and you're still pursuing your passion, which is music.
Yeah,
so, pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Yesterday we had a conversation about this. Somebody asked me, so how did you get into music? So same question. And I said it was on and off, but I really wanted to secure... Oh, it's because we were talking about... I was trying to inspire a guy that's going to college, but he didn't know what to do. So, and then he asked me, so you're in the band, how did you get into that, and how did you do your career? So I just said I wanted to secure my career first, because the music is a hobby and it's always going to be there.
Right.
So I made sure I had the degree at the end of the line, and still have the music behind me and keep on practicing here and there so I wouldn't lose it. Keep updated, up to date with the styles and all that, because LA is a very unique style. The LA County, the music that you hear on the radio here versus like Texas, completely different. Monterrey, completely different. And so it was one of those things where I just told him, hey, it's focus. And if you have a hobby, never stop doing it,
There you go.
Eventually, I graduated, but I still wanted to do music. I still wanted to record. I wanted to record a CD. I wanted to get something together. And this CD that we just finished, that we just produced, is one of those dreams coming true after, obtaining my bachelor's in architecture. And so yeah, I mean, echándole ganas, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, and you're a busy guy. You don't have kids yet. You're not married yet. No. But I know you're in love, man. I see you on social media, bro. Ando bien enamorado, bro.
Yeah, I mean, when you find that special person, you just gotta... There's no way of hiding it,
Yeah,
right.
That's good, man.
Yeah. And no need to hide it, man.
No
it's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing when you meet that person that like, oh, this is the one I really want to spend the rest of my life with, and you're still young, so don't rush, all right? Don't rush into it.
Take your time.
Enjoy the journey, and life is all about trying to find that balance of work and play, and then also love. And then your friends, and then your family. It's always that. And I'm 30 years old, married with a little 3-month-old, and it's hard. I'm still trying to find that balance between work, and also family time. And
but just work at it every day, bro.
That's it.
And that's pretty much it.
Little by little, here and there.
And you know what, though? I think you've already mastered that just from hearing your story and how you handle school, how you handled working while you were going to school, how you were able to travel, how you still were able to still play your music throughout this whole time. You know, you're a perfect example of that. Yeah, you can find balance. You know, you can. So when you get there, when your time is right, you'll be all right. You'll do okay.
Yeah. The time will come, they say.
That's it, man.
So little by little, right?
Yeah, and how can people connect with you, man? Like on social media. Let's say there's somebody out there that's in high school, or they're a teen, or they're early 20s, and they're like, man, I want to be an architect, or I want to be a musician like this guy. He sounds like a cool. How can they find you?
Oh,
connect with you?
I guess they can reach me at my email. I check my email all the time.
What's that email?
That email is Louie, Louie, Geo, Torres, Torres, @gmail.com.
Cool.
How about Facebook?
Facebook, Louie Torres.
Instagram.
Instagram is what is my Instagram? It's
At Mr.
Louie.
Mr. Architect.
No. It's Louie Quinto, like bajo quinto.
Yeah.
So it's Louie, and then Quinto is spelled Quinto, and then the number 1 at the end. Louie Quinto 1, and they could find me at.
What about your music?
Music.
Can people
Your band or
can people download your music? Can people find you on YouTube?
Yes, we're working on that, and as of now, they can find us as La Chavalada on Facebook, La Chavalada, Instagram, La Chavalada, and also on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have some videos up there. If people want to see our music, what we're all about. We mostly put more info on Instagram.
Okay.
And yeah, people can check us out there.
Sounds good, man.
And on this podcast, the intro song and the outro song, we're gonna put a Chavalada song on there so people could hear it.
Nice, alrighty.
People are gonna be like, why is there a norteño song on an architect?
Yeah.
On Las Ganas Network.
On Ganas Network. Interesting, man. But hey, man, really, man, it's been nice to sit here and get to know your story, and for me to get to know you personally a little bit more. It's really cool, bro, and it means a lot to me for you to share that to our community of Ganas Network. We're really just here to inspire others, man, and let people know that these careers, these dreams do come true, and all it takes is hard work and ganas, dude.
Just ganas, yeah.
Making it happen. People make excuses, or they can make it happen, and it's nice to know that no matter where you come from, it's not about where you're from, it's about where you're going, and if you want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way.
Yeah, it's always. Hay que echarle muchas ganas. There's a lot of people that have ideas and goals, and they don't know how to go forth in accomplishing any of these things. To be honest, you just got to move forward. Just do it. Ask questions. Use your resources. God gave us a mouth and brain, and use it. You just got to go out there and do it, because there's a lot of resources that you don't even know that we're there until you actually step forward and ask, hey, what do you guys do, or how can I do this? Or say you want to be a firefighter, then go in that circle of firefighters and interview people, talk to people. What should I do next? That type of thing,
There you go.
And that is what is called echándole ganas and moving forward.
Y buscando manera, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're Mexican, Mexicanos. I mean, not saying that we're the only ones that do that. Anybody can do it. Pero there's this little saying, or in Mexican at the end,
Right.
Just as a joke.
Right.
My buddies are like, yeah, we're Mexicanos. We're out here in China, trying to make it happen. So that was one of the jokes that we had going on. But anyways, thank you guys for having me. It was my pleasure. Un honor muy grande para mí estar aquí con Ganas Network, Mero.
We had a blast.
Yeah, man, for sure, brother. And speaking of resources, within the Ganas Network community, we're going to be releasing actually content with different courses available for people to learn new tools on how they can maybe make some more money online, or how they can market their company or services online. So if you haven't already done so, guys, make sure you visit ganasnetwork.com and enter your email so you can join our newsletter. We're going to be sending out free content so you guys can learn new tools, new skills. Also, our book of the month for the month of March. If you guys didn't listen last week, the book this month is called The E-Myth. Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. That's by Michael E. Gerber. So get that book. It's a killer book. And, once again, with Ganas Network, we're just looking to bring value. But welcome, and I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. We'll hear you guys next week. Every Monday, new episode. Ganas Network.
Peace.
Make it a great week.
All right.
Peace.
Y olvidar, ¿cómo es posible olvidar?